So 100 years ago today, right behind you where your photograph was taken is where the monument started. And it was facing south toward the enemy. And how else could it be? But there was a railroad track that came through here at one time. And President Taft rode on that train. He left this ceremony going out to Jackson, Michigan to a Republican convention. And he rode on the train through here, the Shoreline Railroad. And then after a while, the statue became a traffic hazard to automobiles. No longer did they have horse and buggies. So they moved it over to Soldiers and Sailors Park. That'll be our next stop. However, I'm not going to steal all of Charles Greening's thunder. I'm going to turn the program over to him. Charles.
By the way, that would be impossible. Jeannie and Dick have done everything, and they deserve a great deal of credit for all that's gone on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can only hope that we have as much fun as the people that were here 100 years ago. It was a fabulous situation. Their town was about 12,000, and I am told that there were another 12,000 here for it. And the height, the energy that was going on was just fabulous. You couldn't capture it. My great-grandfather was responsible for sponsoring this, and along with many others, certainly. But it started in November of 1906 and finished in June of 1910. He wrote to everybody that he could. At one point he sent out a mailing of 5,000 to try to get support. Asked Libby to come in to be the sponsor here. Rode the whole situation through as the secretary, appointing others, certainly from the Custer group, the Custer family, to head it up. Yes. And here is Libby Custer.
We're very fortunate today to have Kaylani Ray Raffco, Miss America from 1988, to do the part of Libby Custer for us today. So Kaylani, thank you for coming. And she'll join the crowd for photo opportunities and delight. And with that, I'll return it to Charles, and he'll introduce a few others perhaps, or finish the story.
All righty.
Oh, Mayor Clark is here. Robert Clark, invite him up.
Mayor Clark, would you come up, please?
Well, I just wanted to take a moment because you'll see I'll have an opportunity to speak to everybody later this afternoon at our formal presentation. But I want to say welcome to Monroe. It's truly a pleasure to have everybody here, not only from our community, but from around the nation, to enjoy and participate in this Centennial. This is a great day for the city of Monroe. It's an opportunity for us to reflect back on what our history is, what we are doing today to preserve that history, and what our future will be and what we should be doing in the future. So that's part of what I'll be talking about this afternoon. I'm glad to see everybody here. The band is just fabulous. I appreciate all it has done to have the state come to this point, and I agree with your comments. I have my personal thanks to Dick and Gina Micca for all they've done to bring everybody here. I'm very, very happy. To the Little Bighorn Association, I am very honored, and we are very pleased that you chose the City of Monroe for your national convention this year. Thank you very much.
Part of Charlie, as he was called, writing was to everybody that he could get. He wanted the governor, he wanted the president, he wanted, actually even, he wrote to Teddy Roosevelt. And Teddy wrote him back a note saying, congratulations for sponsoring this, that Custer was a hero, a leader, a type of person that should be emulated by the youth of the country. And he helped to push the move west, for which he should be very highly credited, if I recall what Teddy said, and emulated. Charlie continued on at this place, on this street. There was a statue given by General Whitaker, who couldn't be there because he was ill. He was supposed to be a speaker. And it was a statue that had been molded in 1870 with the GAR in Washington, D.C. And down that street there was a store called Hubble's. And it was in that store that the statue was placed, and I was told, at least by the people that wrote about it, that it was one of the special places to see at that time, which was given to him in honor of all that he had done bringing this through. Dick, do you have anything you want? Dick? Oh, he's on the other phone. The whole program for this statue was started out literally as almost an afterthought. There was a meeting of what was called the M&M Club. I understand it was like the Chamber of Commerce we have now. And there was the Ladies Civic Improvement Association that was responsible for historic areas. Charlie was giving a speech at this meeting, and he said, gee, wouldn't it be nice if we could dedicate a statue and have it here in Monroe? And from then, it rolled on, in which associations were formed, people were named. The state also had a project that they had hoped would bring the statue to Lansing. There was a conflict between the two. Charlie asked Libby's help. He wrote her a letter, and at the top of that letter, in the stationery of the Custer Memorial Association, there was a heading, I think read, "We honor us by honoring Custer." Well, Libby thought this was really something special, and with that decided that she was going to go with Charlie, and she came in and put her force behind it. There was a compromise, a raising of the money, and eventually the site was still known as Monroe. Well, then was the next getting of the sculptor. I think there were 16 sculptors that were at least interviewed or saw. One of them was Remington.